Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the first quarterfinal. I mean, we have only one rotation of quarterfinals, and this is quarterfinal number 4. So that's the proper way to say it. We have a stacked match here where only 2 people are going through into the semifinal and have a chance tonight of making it already into the final, because this tournament works a little bit different. But first of all, I want to implement you, or I want to show you the players here. We have PauLL playing for Team 4 Wheels. Then there is Hugo playing for Team MTP, a very good player, very risky and fast driver. And I think he might be more consistent on tech, but I think that he will make more mistakes than the others. But that's just my opinion. Then there's also Javzo, the Sun player. And last but not least, definitely not least, betting it for first, it's Dutchy. So a stacked match coming up here in this quarterfinal already. 2 people are going through. We're going to play in cup mode. So cup mode means you collect points. In this case, 10 for first, 6 for second, 4 for third, and 3 for fourth position. And you collect those points up to that tier, to the point limit of 100. And if you have surpassed this 100 point barrier, you will activate finest mode, and then you have to win 1 more round in order to make it into the semifinal. Only 2 people are going through, and we're gonna go here with the first map, which is Obscuritas by Anisado. We play 5 rounds on each map, so we have 1 more beforehand and 5 live rounds. It's actually a lot, but it's still, you know, it's still cool to see that. So as we can see, Javzo making that first mistake, and we have a close fight between PauLL, Dutchy, and Hugo for that first 10 point. As we see, Hugo going a little bit wider there, accumulating a little bit more speed, but it's still PauLL and Dutchy leading. Hugo again having a little bit more speed here, also with the aggressive inside line, so Dutchy gets it really well, but PauLL is unstoppable here, 0.16 ahead here of Dutchy in this part. And ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the biggest tag tournament of this year, with a prize pool of 3,000 euro. Hugo making that mistake, risking it for the biscuit there, and PauLL and Dutchy are in the battle. Dutchy getting a better ending though, but with the airtime, or with the slide there, by losing grip there. So PauLL is winning it over Dutchy, then Javzo on P3 actually sniping Hugo there in the ending. So that's the first 10 pointer for PauLL. So 3,000 euros of cash prize is in this tournament, and tonight we're gonna decide who is already qualifying for the grand final, because this tournament works like that. We have 4 qualification days. This Wednesday, then the upcoming Saturday, then the next Wednesday in 1 week, and the Saturday after that. And in all of those 4 qualification steps, the first place of the grand final that is played in the qualification is qualifying to the grand final and battle out for the prize pool of 3,000 euro, 1.6k for first, 800 for second, 400 for third, and 200 for fourth position. So that means that if you have already qualified, if you have qualified to the grand final already, you've already gotten yourself money. So that is really cool to see. And again, Dutchy and PauLL having a good fight here, but Dutchy losing it there just after I praised his line, and he falls down to that third position. And now Hugo versus PauLL in this section. Hugo with the more speed there, but had to go so outside there. Also Dutchy doing it very well. Only 800s between them. Dutchy going outside, but who's getting first? It is Hugo staying ahead here, but only by 0.02 of a second. A 105.05. So a little bit of a slower time here, but still enough for Hugo to claim his first 10 pointer. PauLL with 16 points, still in first. And then we have Dutchy dropping to P3 with 10 points. So into the next round we go. As I said, we have 5 rounds on each track. This is round number 3 on the map from Anisado. My favorite map out of this map pool. 1 minute 4 in length, or 1 minute 5 roughly. The longest map. And Javzo again cannot match the pace here. Currently he's on P4. And he loses a little bit more in this section, 0.27. But of course, if you lose with that speed, and if it's a long stretch, you will lose more and more, and you can see it here. Javzo 0.33 behind. He can, of course, capitalize from a mistake there, but the play is looking ready here. Let's take a look here. PauLL, Dutchy, and Hugo fighting it out. It is Dutchy leading here ahead of Hugo. PauLL not with a good line here, but still could maybe snipe that third position if Hugo were to clip there, but that wasn't the case. So it is Dutchy winning it here again. Oh no, for the first time actually. And now look at the scoreboard. 20-20-19 for between first, second, and third. So that's why we picked this match, because it's getting really close. It will get really close here, I can tell you that. And of course, with finalist mode enabled, there will be still some crazy rounds coming up. There will be certainly crazy rounds coming up. And now to the next round. Javzo capitalizing from that mistake that was done by Dutchy at the beginning. So he is currently sitting on that third position. But Dutchy and also Javzo, they need that 10 pointer to not let Hugo and PauLL run away. Especially Javzo here, who is currently on that third position and only has 10 points after 3 rounds. So this is not looking good, but good line here from Javzo coming back. But what a close fight here for that second position, as we see Javzo not with the best exit speed. And with that, PauLL and Dutchy coming closer and closer towards Hugo. Never mind though, he's 0.2 ahead. But Dutchy, what a great comeback from the Dutch player here, going into the lead here. But it is actually PauLL sniping it there in the ending. It's 1,000th of a second. PauLL with that second position. But great comeback from Dutchy nonetheless. Look at that. What a great round here for that second position. And that just shows us, guys, why tag is the most entertaining style to watch. And why this competition is an enrichment for the Trackmania scene here. Oh no, Hugo making a mistake after a very dominant round here beforehand. He is not going to make it on that last round here on Obscuritas by Anisado. Again, I really love that map. That's why I'm saying that. It is Dutchy leading. Javzo also with a mistake, so he's behind as well. So Javzo won't make a saying here, and as well as Hugo. And Javzo might not even get himself at third position, since if you make a mistake beforehand, you cannot make that smooth. So PauLL, Dutchy in P1 and 2. But PauLL also with a mistake. You got to be joking me. You've got to be joking me. Okay, I'm speccing Dutchy now, and if he makes a mistake, I'm gonna end my casting career. Okay. So let me check if this jinx worked. That was the hardest jinx that ever happens. Of course, I will never end my casting career. But Dutchy is 2 seconds leading, and an opposite of the prior round. And Dutchy is taking this one home. Only one more jump to go. He could actually go for that safe finish. Oh my god. Woo. Monka W. Oh my god. That was so close. Oh. Okay. So Dutchy taking it here. But that was so close. How he could have also bounced backwards there. He could have also bounced backwards. My god. That was a crazy first map. And with that out of the way, it is Hugo still leading. Dutchy on P2, 1 point behind that. And then we have PauLL with 30 points on that third position. Humble Forest. And yeah, on this map, let me actually show it to you on the free cam in the T-Tours camera here. Very cool and fitting use here of the reset block, I have to say that. And in general, very cool scenery with the forests, or with the forest there that should be displayed by those things, and also the grass parts. And then of course there's also a hard part on this track. I mean, this track is in general also not that easy. It's very unique. Every map in this map pool is very unique. And the ending consists of a... Well, let's actually watch it here from a player. Hello? Let me go here and take a look here onto Dutchy. Because you can either go for an inside line or clip it there. Or go outside and jump smooth into the finish. You can take different lines there. And I think this map is open for everyone, but I'm interested to see how Javzo is doing it, since he is currently sitting at 16 points. And I mean, it's an average of, yeah, only 3 points per round. but he has only gotten himself 1 third position, and that was in the first round. So that is actually not that good for him. So let's go ahead here into the first round and see how actually Javzo is gonna do it here, as he is currently not having the best start again. And hello Andre, hello Andre. Hopefully you are good. And yeah, let's go ahead and see how he's doing it. He's 0.3 behind the leader, who's Dutchy at the moment. And then Hugo is behind that. PauLL, however, is also losing it a little bit. Also not getting a lot of speed. But look at the risk here from Javzo and PauLL. Both have nothing to lose here. Javzo is really pushing it. But of course, it is the others who are so fast. But maybe he can claim that third position. We're gonna find out very soon, as Javzo gets a very good line here. But let's take a look at the battle for that first position. Dutchy with the upper hand had to release though, and now it's Hugo leading here. Hugo leading, but who's getting the ending the best? And it's actually Dutchy with a better jump there, jumping lower and therefore hitting the finish earlier. And that was a great round again, a 101.24. We have seen a 0.0x from Pack here on this map, but Dutchy with that goes into the lead. 40 points. 40 plus points for both Hugo and Dutchy, and PauLL is losing it a little bit after a good start for him, for the Portuguese player playing for Team 4 Wheels. So great round here on Humble Forest by Clem to start it all off with here on that second map. So let's go with PauLL here, who has a beautiful start here. He really wants to hold on here and don't want to lose any sort of grip towards Dutchy and Hugo, and wants to say, yo, I can make it into the semifinal tonight and maybe even in the final. He's pressing B for boost here and is 0.06 ahead, but Hugo with a very good line here comes closer, and it's dead even again. 100 of a second, but Hugo not with the best amount of speed, also goes so far outside there. But now it's Hugo, the next contender, and it is actually, no, it's PauLL making a mistake, losing control there, losing his grip by not braking too much and having a bad approach in general. So now Dutchy and Hugo really capitalizing for that. Hugo getting a penalty almost there, but he was clipping it there and could have, or he went into the risk of getting a penalty, but that wasn't the case. But you can see Dutchy with a 101.14, so it was actually PauLL who was on a very good time. But with that, of course, his mentality in this, yeah, maybe is a little bit gone. But let's go ahead here and to the next round, round 3 out of 5. And see how PauLL is doing it this time around. He is really in need of that, since the match is going quite quick, because you now have 5 live rounds. And if you, of course, make a mistake and lose momentum on those 5 rounds, you don't have a break. Like, you use the warm-up as a break and kind of a reset for you. But usually you have 4 rounds on each track, but now you have 5 rounds. And this even makes it harder and harder. So you might not even see map number 5. But let's just go into the round, as PauLL makes another mistake, as well as Javzo. So both of them are currently sitting on P3 and 4 and only getting those points here. So this is not good for them. And currently it's Hugo leading. Hugo, however, had to release. Maybe Dutchy can come a little bit closer with that. Okay, he can. Dutchy with more speed. Can Dutchy snipe that first position? He is doing it again. He is doing it again. I don't believe it. The ending from Dutchy is so good on this map. It's so good, but also Hugo is saving it a little bit too much. But of course with that, look at that, it's Dutchy now up to 64 points, having accumulated a lead of 11 points. So that is really good here from Dutchy TM. So 64 out of 80 points, that is pretty solid actually. Oops. Monka, oh my god, Monka W. What happened? Okay, so I just dropped my iced tea, but it was empty. And we can see Hugo losing maybe his control. Oh, okay, Javzo, PauLL, Hugo. What a Pepega round here. But still, it is Javzo in second position. This could be his first second placement here. And he's in need of that. He's only at 26 points. He's not giving up. And that's the mentality from Javzo here, from the Sun player. He's doing really well. But you could have seen here that mistake that can really happen. And that has occurred to PauLL in the round like 2 rounds ago. He can really lose control there. But Dutchy wins it again here with a 101.41. So driving it a little bit safer. but still getting himself a 10-pointer. Javzo in second. So first, second position for Javzo, and he will be certainly very happy about that. Then Hugo and PauLL on P3 and 4. So already a little bit of a decided match, I would say, concerning the difference in points. But I think with the map swap that comes after that round, we're gonna see maybe someone like Javzo or PauLL pressing it, you know, doing it very good. But thus far, it's looking good for Dutchy here. But Dutchy making a mistake in this round. And also PauLL not with a good line here. Exited so outside there. And with that, he had to pick a different line. And of course, with that, you travel more distance. And maybe you have to release. So you run into the danger of losing speed. And that's exactly what happened to PauLL here. As Dutchy slide is out. So that's a really hard part on this track. But could really... Yeah, he could have readjusted his line there, but now it's Hugo leading. PauLL needs a good ending here to overtake Hugo. Can he make it? No, Hugo will claim victory here. Jumps so close into the finish. PauLL on P2 and Dutchy on third. Then we have Javzo, who's able to finish, but ever so slightly here. Nope, he's not. RIP. And that is not good here for Javzo, since he should have finished, but of course he missed it. That's not good. That is not good for him. But whatever. Whatever. Things like that can happen. Especially in a pressure situation. Let's go ahead into the next map here. Royal Cheese by Luoki, which is the third map and could be the decider for both Dutchy and Hugo. Bear that in mind. Hello, hello. Good evening. It's feet. It's feet. But he plays like a Pack Junior. We'll probably see him in the final tonight. But this is the next map here. A map with a different mood. With the sunset mood, as you can see. They can also see the final live stream. So that's also... this weekend we have the Trackmania Grand League final. But I think there are more important things now than the Trackmania Grand League final. This is so stacked. We have this competition on Saturday. We have the Combine on Saturday. Or no, the Qualification and I think the final. And we have the final and Super Final. And now we also have this, the final as well. So many things are happening on the weekend, which is cool. But let's go ahead here. This is arguably the map with the hardest ending. So definitely a map that is cool to see in cup mode. Let's take a look here onto Javzo, because he's just giving us a good overview here of the player field who are currently ahead of him. But just when I say that, Hugo makes a mistake, and that was the thing I was talking about beforehand. Hugo is such a risky driver, and he takes every risk that is there. And with that, PauLL can really capitalize from that. He can come 3 points closer to him. But of course, 3 points is only 3 points. He's already 17 points behind. But if, of course, Hugo passes that risk, it will be hard for PauLL to really keep up. But now it's looking good for him to claim that second position. But Dutchy is just on another level, but he could also fail this ending here. This ending is so hard to do. Let's take a look here. You have to squeeze your car to the right there, and it's PauLL barely making it. A 1 minute point 59 from Dutchy. Then we have PauLL 0.3 behind. Javzo finishes on P3, and then we have Hugo on P4. So this ending is really hard to do. I can tell you that. Try it on your own. It's really hard to hit that angle, since the jump is, not blind, but you have to react really fast. And Dutchy at 88 points. So PauLL can maybe take that momentum to his advantage and make it happen. He can make it happen. This long left slide here, which is really important to get well. So PauLL is currently leading. But Hugo, his direct opponent, with a very good line here in this section. So Hugo goes into the lead here, accumulates a lot of speed in this stretch. Look at that. That's what you want to do on this track. There are a lot of long drifts that you have to align correctly in order to get the best possible outcome speed. But now Hugo has lost a little bit. Not the best line for Hugo. So PauLL is coming closer. But PauLL with a mistake there as he had to readjust his car. Because he was too far on the left by the looks of it. But that's just the risk you take. But now Dutchy is there to maybe deny the 10-pointer to Hugo. And of course there is still the ending that is remaining for hugo220. Is he able to pass it here? He is probably able to make it. No, he's failing it. And Dutchy and PauLL are in P1 and 2. So it is Hugo dying here in the ending. Oh my god, no. And he's not able to finish. He's not able to finish. Hugo not able to finish. And this is super good here for PauLL, who is now 8 points short to him. Oh man, that is such a bad moment here for Hugo to not finish this one. Since PauLL now with the momentum and also Dutchy at 98 points. And this could be the direct battle between Hugo and PauLL here for that second position. So it's not over and out yet. PauLL with a different line here going so far from the right. But he did that really well actually. That wasn't a bad line I have to say. But we still see different lines because, guys, you have to consider those tracks are only online for around 3 days. So the competitors here only had 3 days of practicing those tracks. And with that, getting consistency and finding the most optimal lines, even though it's only like a small line adjustment, it's really hard. So we're gonna see a development towards Saturday. People have realized things in the match and so on. But let's focus on this ending here as Hugo's leading. PauLL goes for the attack. PauLL has more speed here in this ending. Is PauLL sniping it? You got to be joking me. PauLL is not sniping it. Because he finished more to the left. That was like, oh, he's sniping it. And then PauLL is not going to snipe it. Because he has made that mistake there on jumping too far. So yeah, now Dutchy in finalist. I'm going to write GL now. But he is 20 points ahead of Hugo. So let's see Dutchy's first finals attempt. One of the favorites for me for tonight is definitely Dutchy, who's doing really good. He's doing really good in all the rounds, and currently he's also dominating this match again. But Hugo with a mistake there, so PauLL can capitalize from that and also deny Dutchy the victory here. So PauLL versus Dutchy, of course, a 10-pointer for PauLL would now be very good because, I mean, just bear that in mind. If Dutchy just gets more of those 10-pointers than Hugo and... no, Dutchy gets more 10-pointers than PauLL and Hugo. And Dutchy will definitely win one more round, since I would say, of course, it's not possible, but he could still drop out. But I think that's not the case. So PauLL should maybe take that, but also a 6-pointer would be fine for him. But Dutchy is taking it here. Dutchy is through with a 1:53. That was a well-deserved victory and pretty anticlimactic. So well played from Dutchy. First person in the semi-final. So well played. And Hugo and PauLL are still fighting it out, as well as Javzo. But now there's one less player and the 10-pointer is still on stake. So you have to consider that. The 10-pointer is still there that can be claimed by the players. But also Javzo can maybe make some damage. Maybe he's just risking it for the biscuit. He has nothing to lose. He's at 43 points. He didn't really arrive in this quarterfinal yet. But still, he's not giving up. I really like this mentality. And also, he's a very wholesome guy. So shoutouts to Javzo. He's a good guy. And I hope that he can still make something happen. And well played, Dutchy. So that was a very dominant performance. Well played, man. But let's go here into this round as we have Hugo versus PauLL. Hugo with the outside approach has a little bit more speed by the looks of it. Actually, it's so close here between them. PauLL jumps a little bit more inside, but we have seen different lines here from them. It's PauLL having more speed, but now, of course, it gets harder to control. Hugo with the outside. Oh my god. What an ending from PauLL. Oh my god. PauLL really taking the most optimal line there. Clutching it into the top of the finish there. That was such a sick round here from PauLL, going up to 84 points. That was a great round and definitely a great ending there. So you can really see how much a more inside finish or a more right finish gains you. So that was very nicely executed by him. And with that, PauLL is only 6 points short. to Hugo. Javzo's doing really good, indeed. He's doing really good. So let's go into the next round here, into the next map. Spotlight by Busy. So different mood here. The daytime it is. So not that melancholic feeling that you get from that other map. It really is. You get a different feeling by just from the mood of the map. That's really crazy, I have to say that. You can really transfer that to the players and also spectators, of course. So I think this map has the second... Yeah, oh, I wouldn't say the second most difficult finish. But it has a difficult finish that you can mess up very easily. As we're gonna see PauLL here approaching it at first. Because everyone has kind of made a mistake. So let me take a look onto PauLL here. Who is approaching the finish now. So he's maybe practicing it here. No, he's not. Okay. But Hugo is. So you have to... I mean, you can either go for the speed. It's hard to really explain that. Because this turn here, you can exit it very outside and get driven to the outside here as Javzo did. And by going so close here to the pole, it gets hard to really pull through this left turn and steer properly to the right. You can easily miss the finish or jump too low here. But you're gonna see that in a minute what I'm talking about. But it's a difficult finish. It looks easy at first, but it's... Yeah, it can get difficult if you get a weird line. You have to really adapt fast to it. But yeah, of course it's doable. Not like the other finish where you can just die instantly. But whatever. Let's go here into the first round as we have no finest thus far. But Hugo only needs a victory to claim that finest name or finest mode to his name. So he can make it happen. But PauLL with a beautiful amount of speed here in this section. You really want to hold your airtime on that sausage road. And PauLL was able to do that one very well. And also Javzo here. 6 points. He can make it happen. He can get himself some points. He's not out yet. Of course, he needs a miracle. And 10 of them. Maybe 10, 11 miracles. But Javzo can still make it. He could still make it. But of course, he needs to win 5 more rounds to deny them. But both of them are not finalists yet. PauLL is making it, and that's what I was talking about. You can clip it there by going from too far from the right, and Javzo has shown us it to us. And with that, he only gets himself 4 points. So Hugo versus PauLL here. It's 96 versus 94 points. A first and a second place would be enough for PauLL. Hugo just has to finish, and then he's finalist. Then he's finalist. Looking like a good round for PauLL. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really matter that if Javzo would have gotten himself second or third there, since he's at 51 points. And he didn't pass like a new a 10 number, let's say like that. He needs... Okay, yeah, maybe in this round. But he needs like victories now. He just needs victories. And with that in mind, he's in first. Yeah, he's in first. PauLL makes that mistake there. So the counter jinx is also working here for Javzo. That is working absolutely perfectly. But of course, he still has to survive this ending. So no drift there, indeed, for PauLL. And we have Hugo versus Javzo here. But it's actually Javzo who is getting himself that first position. Yes, he is. And getting his first 10-pointer. Hugo in second, still in finals. And now PauLL is at 98 points. 98 points for PauLL. And he needs to get himself now. He needs to deny Hugo. So he needs to deny him. So good luck to him. Let's take a look. Hugo's first finals attempt. And he could knock out PauLL here for this first qualification. There's still 3 more opportunities for the players to make it into the final. Javzo is dead. And Javzo doesn't go for the DNF. Many people would have done that. But Javzo is not giving up. I really like that attitude from Javzo. Really cool to see that. He's just playing. He's just focused, you know. Even though he makes a mistake. But let's take a look here onto this fight between PauLL and Hugo. Because it is actually Javzo who's dead. And that means that we have a victorious player with the 90+ points. And actually Hugo is currently looking very good. Because PauLL had a really bad line. So maybe now the pressure is kicking in. But Hugo with a mistake. Hugo with a mistake there. That is not good for Hugo here. And PauLL just has to survive it here. Oh man. Hugo is throwing it away. He had it. Hugo had it, and he's throwing it away, but still the ending here for PauLL to deny Hugo the victory. And now we have a double final situation. I have no idea what happened there to Hugo, but he has thrown that one away, and he could have made it into the semifinal, but he didn't do so. So double final situation. Javzo has to deny 4 times in a row in order to get himself the finest mode as well. But now it is PauLL versus Hugo here. A miracle round was that for PauLL, who had a really bad slide. It looked so grim for him. But now he's up into finest mode himself. So first finest attempt. First time is the charm maybe for him. But of course Hugo is a player that is really fast, but also very risky. And sometimes he tends to make so many mistakes. But it's very close here. Very close. Hugo's in the lead. 600ths of a second between the MTP player and the 4Wheels player here. The Portuguese player and the French player. Hugo gets more speed out of that. PauLL is a little bit further behind. So let's take a look here onto PauLL. As he gets more speed, it's dead even here. It's dead even between them. Hugo with the better apex here as well, but PauLL is attacking. It's so close between them. Who's making it to the semifinal? Is it PauLL or Hugo? First versus second finest attempt here, and PauLL looks very good, but not a good line here. PauLL misaligns the turn, and Hugo is about to make it here. Hugo is making it, and he's surviving the ending, but a great round, and Hugo is doing it, so he's through in the semifinal. Let's take a look